I'm Grace. So happy to have you here. We are going to be going through a warrior flow, Virabhadrasana flow, with some focus on lines of energy. I'm excited about this. Lines of energy are something somewhat subtle, but you can use lines of energy as you move through your practice in using your attention to direct energy. And as you practice it in your yoga poses, you can take that off the mat and practice it in your life with your poses. Oh, here comes Xander. Hi, baby. I knew you'd come. Yeah. He joins me every morning. You don't usually see him because he's up on the bed. He used to crawl all over me while I did my yoga. So the more heart-centered poses, or the more kind of feminine poses, which would be like the Parita Virabhadrasana and Trikonasana, the energy is going to come from the heart. And you usually move out your extended fingertips or out through your heart. I'll guide you through each one. And then the more masculine, more yang poses are coming from the solar plexus area here. So that would be like Virabhadrasana 1, Virabhadrasana 2. Will be coming through the more masculine, the solar plexus. So let's begin by getting in a comfortable seat and closing your eyes and diving your awareness inward. And I want to invite you, as we go through this pose, at any time you need to back off, please feel free to do that. This is your practice, so you don't need to follow me if you need to come out of a pose sooner. If you ever experience pain, always back off immediately. Yoga is not about experiencing pain. And begin to dive into your own being, into your own heart. Just settle deeply inside your own heart. Basking in Pratyahara. I love Pratyahara. That's part of the 8 limbs. And Pratyahara is inner sensations. We withdraw our attention from the external world and we bring all our attention and all our focused awareness to the inner being, the inner aliveness. And that's the emotions, the energy flows, that's everything within us, the awareness. So we settle into that heart space and allowing ourselves to connect deeply with our own being, that presence within us that is always there, that awareness that is our ever-present awareness. And that awareness is prior to thoughts, prior to emotions. That awareness is even prior to the body. This fundamental aspect of ourselves that is there before we were born, after we were born, after we pass. It's ever present. And we have to slow down. So beginning to breathe and taking those breaths nice and slowly and deeply, breathing into this belly. So as we slow the breath, we deepen the breath, we breathe into the belly, and we allow the body to relax. Diving into breath awareness into that lower abdomen. Staying connected to the inner being, the heart. A pure awareness within us. Letting everything calm and become still. No hurry. Just being present to this moment, here now. John always tells me, You will never find heaven in the past or the future, yet heaven is always here now. And so we have to get present to experience that state of heaven. He's always available as we quiet the mind, still the mind. And taking this moment to set an intention for yourself. Set it into your heart, set it into your consciousness, a gift to you, always positive, and set it as a present moment, as if it is now. Our subconscious only knows the now. And coming back, but staying connected to the self, opening the eyes, staying connected to the inner being. And we're going to stand up. This is Thursday. And move a little more today. So coming to a standing position, let's shake out the arms and legs. It's beginning to move into that body, warming it up, little twists. Do some lateral movement of the spine, bringing the arms up, grabbing the wrist of the right arm, and moving, bringing the arm over to the left. So you're feeling a nice opening in the right side body. And try not to collapse here in the left side. So keeping that opened, yet we are leaning over to the left. And breathe. And one more breath here. Beautiful. And coming back to the center. And then let's bring the right hand to the left wrist and gently guiding that left arm over to the side, allowing the hips to move over to the left a little and opening up that left side body. And breathe into that belly. One more nice deep breath here. And coming back to center. Beautiful job. Shaking out again a little bit. Just shaking the whole body out. So we can get the shoulders into it. Moving that body. And let's move into our breath. So we're going to inhale the arms up. Inhale the arms out to the side. Inhale the arms up to the sky. And then exhale, bending the knees. So together. One more time. And let's just hang like a rag doll for a minute. Just hang there. Shaking out the head a little, and then nice and slowly, very slowly coming up. Keeping the head down, the arms down. Coming up one vertebrae at a time. You need to straighten those legs. Nice and slow, opening that spine and then feeling the cervicals in the neck. Finally straightening, allowing the head to come in. Beautiful, beautiful job. So we're going to move into our warrior flow with a focus on lines of energy. And we're going to start in Virabhadrasana 2. So I invite you to open up a nice wide stance. Back foot is going to be 30 to 40 degrees from that back of the mat. Front foot is going to be 90 degrees. So its toes are going to be facing that front of the mat straight on. Find a width for you. So if you're a beginner, you might want to be a little narrower. If you're more experienced, you might want to be a little wider. Be very wide and really challenge yourself. You're always welcome to go down to your knee as well if you want to go into a low warrior. If this is too much. So you can go into a low warrior. But I invite you to try to do this standing if you can, but there are modifications and options for you if you're a beginner. So we're going to take this front knee and we're going to bring it directly over the front ankle. And we just want to make sure it doesn't go forward of the ankle. If it goes a little behind, that's okay. But if it goes forward, it puts some tension and stress on your knee. So we don't want that. This back thigh is going to be engaged. Your hips are facing me. And we're going to open up those arms. Both arms about the same height. And then we're going to turn the head to gaze out over the front fingertips in our warrior 2. So the energy, the line of energy is coming from the solar plexus. It's coming up the core of the body, and it's coming out through those front fingertips. So we're going to engage our bandhas. Our mula bandhas are pelvic floor, also called the Kegels. Uddiyana bandha, the belly comes up slightly and engaged. Jarandala bandha, the chin comes in and the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. And breathe. Feeling that line of energy from the solar plexus up the core of the body, out the extended fingertips. One more breath. On your next inhale, we're going to drop the back arm to the back leg and reach that front arm up and gaze up towards the sky and the heavens. And so the line of energy is coming, this is Vaparita Virabhadrasana, reversed warrior. So the energy is coming from the heart, and it's coming up and out the extended fingertips. And let's engage those bandhas and breathe. Feel that line of energy from the heart out the fingertips. And we're going to inhale into that line of energy, really feeling it. And exhale into our side angle. So we're going to, the foundation is the same. We're going to swoop the front arm to gently rest on the front leg. This is Utthita Parvakonasana. Back arm is coming up alongside the body. And the line of energy is from the back foot along the entire side body and out those extended fingertips. Engage those bandhas and let's breathe. Feeling that line of energy, sealing the energy in with your bandhas. Inhale, reaching out into that line of energy in those fingertips. And exhale, we're going to straighten that front leg. Find the block here. If you have a block, or you can use a book and put this block down. It really helps with Trikonasana. So you can have this right arm on the block. The left arm is going to extend up. The shoulders are aligned, engaging those bandhas. And now the line of energy in our Trikonasana triangle is from our heart center up and out those extended fingertips. So engaging the bandhas, bringing in the prana, and experiencing that line of energy. Inhaling deeply, reaching up towards the sky. Exhaling that hand down to the block. So the left hand is on the block. I have my right foot forward. And we are going to adjust that back foot so it's 90 degrees like the front, like railroad tracks. And so the left hand is either on the floor or the block, and keeping the legs straight with a micro bend. Don't want to lock them. You're going to twist away from me as we move into it. We're going to move into our revolve triangle. So we're going to move into a Utkatta Vaparita Trikonasana. Vaparita Trikonasana. Revolve. So twisting away from me, raising the arms up. And the energy is from the heart again, up the extended fingertips. And let's engage the bandhas and breathe. Next, inhale, reaching the fingertips up and exhaling down. And let's bring both hands down to the front foot. You can adjust that back foot to 30 degrees. So you're in your same foundation. And both hands on the either side of the front foot, and we're going to move into pyramid. It's Parsvottasana, allowing the chest and the head to come down towards the knees. The elbows may bend a little bit, just allowing that nice release and relax. And this is just, the heart is just surrendering. So engaging those bandhas, and let's just breathe into this surrendered space. Beautiful job. And we're going to be moving into Virabhadrasana 1. So I'm going to invite you to bend that knee back over the ankle best you can. A little micro bend in the back knee. Pulling the thighs together. We're going to come up. Come up to the knee. Beautiful. And then coming all the way up. It's a bit of a balance. And if you're new, this is a very advanced sequence. So if you're doing good with it, you should really acknowledge yourself. The warrior flow is one of the more advanced in yoga. So now what we're going to do is, we're in Virabhadrasana 1, so those hips are going to face the front. So we're going to square those hips up. Now my left leg is back, so I'm going to take the left hip and move it forward so that they're both facing the front of the mat here, small edge of the mat. So here I am adjusting those hips, squaring those hips, bring that knee back over the ankle. Let's engage the bandhas and then bring the arms up overhead, relax the shoulders down. The line of energies from the solar plexus up the core of the body, up and out the extended fingertips. And engage those bandhas, and let's breathe together. One more breath, inhaling deeply, extending those fingertips up, and on your exhale, facing forward. Beautiful job. And we are going to move into a star pose. This is Utthita Tadasana, star pose. And the energy is coming from the solar plexus. You can release your hands for a minute while I explain the energies. So the energies, everything's coming from the solar plexus. This is more of a yang or masculine pose. It's coming up. Well, first it's going to go down. It's all doing it simultaneously. So it's all happening at the same time. But I'll tell you this first. So it's going to go down both legs, into both feet, and down into the earth. So you're going to feel the feet pressing into the earth. Feel those lines of energy. That's 2. It's 5-pointed star, so there's 5 lines of energy. And then it's going to come from this solar plexus, this power center, this hara. It's going to come up for the body, and it's going to come up and out through both arms and fingertips. So you're going to feel those arms stretching out too. Feet are pressing in, arms and fingertips are stretching out. And then the 5th line is coming up the core of the body from that solar plexus, up and out the crown, up towards the sky and the heavens. So let's engage those bandhas, Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Charandala Bandha. Let's feel those 5 lines of energy simultaneously, and then let's bring in the prana and the breath together. One more breath. Reaching out into those lines of energy. And then on your exhale, bring the hands back to the hips. Beautiful job. We're going to maintain our foundation. We're going to just change it up a little bit. We're moving into our Utthata Konasana, goddess. So we're going to take those feet and we're going to bring them out wider, almost like the toes are pointing to the corners of the mat for our goddess Utthata Konasana. And then we're going to bend the knees so they're going over the feet. Kind of feels like froggy legs in a way. Now find your squat. It may be right up here, maybe way down here. Someone who really wants to challenge himself, or someone who's really experienced. I'm going to be right here in the middle. And then we're going to bring the arms up. And the energy, the line of energy is coming from the heart and out through the palms of the hands. So feel those palms of the hands, and you can either take your palms of the hands in towards yourself or out to the world. So we're going to engage those bandhas and breathe, focusing on that line of energy. One more deep breath. Beautiful job. And coming up. And those hands back to the waist. Beautiful job. Prasarita Padottanasana. Wide leg forward fold. This is again just the energy is just a surrendering of the heart. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to have our hands on our hips or even on your waist, whatever feels better for you. And let's stick that tailbone out. Stick that tailbone out. And we're going to be hinging at our hips. So begin to feel that hinge at your hips. You're not going to release your head or your spine. You're going to keep the head up and find the hinge. And find that hinge until you find your edge. You can't hinge any further. And when you get to that edge, then allow that spine to round and the head to relax. Bring the hands down to either a block or a floor, whatever works better for you, and just releasing down to the earth. Doing that nice release and engaging those bandhas and breathe. Just releasing and surrendering the heart. Beautiful job. Let's bring the hands to our calves or shins and just Pull the body in a little bit and see if we can feel that nice stretch. Always playing our edge, never forcing, striving, or pulling muscles. So what we're going to do now is we're going to reverse this. So we're going to bring the hands to the hips. We're going to lift that head first. So lift this head. This protects the lower back. The head is the heaviest, so you don't want the back muscles picking up the head. Lift the head, lift the heart, begin to hinge up. The head is going to be the first thing to come up. This protects your lower back. Perfect. And we're coming up, and we're going to go over to the other side, practicing those lines of energy with this warrior flow. So let's get our foundation set first. We always set the foundation first, just like if we were to build a house. We're going to set the foundation. That is the part of our body that's connected to the earth. And right now it's my 2 feet. It's your 2 feet. So the back foot is 30 to 45 degrees. The front foot is 90, pointing to the front of the mat. Taking that front knee so it's right over the ankle. So now we're moving into our alignment. After we set up our foundation, we're going to move into our alignment. So the knee is over the ankle. This thigh is engaged. It's more of a line of energy. Hips are facing me. Okay, our hips are facing each other. So that's the alignment for Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. And then we're going to take those arms out. And we want to try to make sure the back arm is as high as the front. Do the best you can, doesn't need to be exact. And then we're going to twist just the head to gaze out over those front fingertips. Sometimes people begin to lunge forward, and that's not the proper alignment. We want to just twist the head and engage those bandhas, feeling that line of energy from the solar plexus. This is a yang masculine pose, up the core of the body and out those front fingertips. And breathe. One more breath, keeping those bandhas engaged, feeling that line of energy. On this, and next exhale, dropping the back arm to the back leg and reaching that front arm up in our Viparita Virabhadrasana, reversed warrior. And now we're going to feel that line of energy from the heart center up, out this extended arm and fingertips. So engage those bandhas, bring in the prana, and feel that line of energy. Gazing up towards the heavens. Next inhale, reaching up. And on the exhale, swooping that front arm to gently rest on the front thigh in our side angle, our Utthita Parvakonasana. Back arm comes up alongside the body, extending in alignment. Line of energies from the back foot along the side body and out those extended fingertips. And let's engage those bandhas and let's bring in the prana. Inhaling deeply as you reach into that line of energy. And as we exhale, we're going to straighten that front leg and bring that front arm down in our Trikonasana triangle. You can come down to a block if you like. We don't want to lock the legs, but we want them to be coming to straight. And the line of energy is from the heart out this extended fingertips. The shoulders are aligned, engage the bandhas. Our body is in one line, so almost like if we were between two walls. We're not moving out or back in any way. and breathe. One more nice deep breath, reaching those extended fingertips up into that line of energy. And exhaling that hand down. Beautiful job. Viparita Trikonasana. Revolved triangle. And the first thing we're going to do is adjust our foundation a little bit by taking that back foot to 90 degrees. I find this really helps us able to move into a better stretch. So we're going to take the right hand on the block or the floor. I'm in revolved. It's a little easier for me to be on the floor. And twist away from me as you reach that left arm up towards the sky. And engage those bandhas and breathe. Line of energies from the heart out the extended fingertips. One more deep breath, inhaling, reaching into that line of energy. And exhale, bringing that hand down into our pyramid. And you can adjust that back foot back to 30, 45 degrees. Beautiful job. Parvastanasana, pyramid, and just relaxing that body, that head, and that chest down towards that front extended foot. Engaging those bandhas and breathe. We're just surrendering the heart with our line of energy, our intention. Moving into Virabhadrasana 1. So we're going to, first thing we're going to do is take a nice little micro bend in that back knee if you can. And the thighs are engaged, coming together. Just feel that little intention there. Bringing that front knee over the ankle. And you can narrow your stance, your foundation a little bit. So the front knee's right over the ankle, a little micro bend. And then bring yourself up to your knee. Beautiful. Straightening out the arms and bringing the body up. Perfect. And the hips are facing the front of the mat for this. So we're going to take my right leg is back. I'm going to bring the right hip, square it a little forward. So both hips are neutral and even in an alignment. I'm going to watch that knee. I'm setting my alignment now. And I'm going to take those arms up. Drop those shoulders down. Engage those bandhas. Uddiyana Bandha, Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Jarandala Bandha. Energy is coming from solar plexus, up the core of the body, out the extended fingertips. And breathe. One more breath, inhaling, reaching up into that line of energy. Exhaling, facing forward. Beautiful. And let's move into our star again, Utthita Tadasana. And these will be our last few standing poses, and we'll come down onto the floor. So we're going to be in those 5 lines of energy. Everything's coming from our solar plexus down. Both legs, feet are pressing into the earth. Up core of our body, out both arms. Fingertips are extending away from us. And that 5th point of the star, the 5th line of intention, is moving up through the crown of the head. So you'll feel the head reaching up towards the sky. Engage those bandhas and let's breathe. Bring in the prana. Beautiful. On your next exhale, bringing the hands to the waist. So we're in week 8 of the yoga teacher training. So this is kind of an advanced class. We're combining everything in this class. We're combining the bandhas, we're combining the breath, we're combining the lines of energy, moving through alignment and foundation. So if you're new to yoga, you should really acknowledge yourself that you're doing so well. So here we are. We're going to move into our goddess Utthata Konasana. The first thing we do is always set the foundation. We're going to change up a little bit by bringing those feet a little wider out. So the toes could be pointing out towards the corners, outer corners of our mat. And then we're going to bend the knees so they're going right over the feet. And find your squat. You may want to challenge yourself and go way down low, or this up high might be better for you. So find what works for you this morning. I like to try to keep it kind of in between. Feel a slight tuck of the tailbone. And we're going to open the arms. Palms facing it in towards yourself or out. Let's engage those bandhas. So engage that pelvic floor. Uddiyana Bandha, Jarandala Bandha. Line of energies from the heart out the palms of your hand. And let's bring in the breath. Nice, deep, slow breaths. One more breath. And on your exhale, let's come up. Beautiful job. Let's bring the hands to the hips. Beautiful, beautiful job. You're doing such a great job. This is not a yin practice that way, more of a yang practice. So we're going to move into our wide-legged forward fold, and that's Prasarita Padottanasana. So first thing we're going to do is stick that tailbone out. Feel that hinge in the hips and begin to hinge forward, allowing the body to hinge. So as we move through engaging the bandhas, the breath, the lines of energy, keeping the head up in toe, you find that edge and then allowing the spine and the head to round. So as we're holding our bandhas and bringing in the prana, we are really activating and increasing the vitality and the life force inside our body. And this helps us in so many ways, our vitality, our health, our wellness. So releasing the head a little bit. Maybe doing some yes, no, or some gentle, spontaneous movements with the head. Just to release and relax that neck. Holding that head up all day long. And then let's gently engage that Mula Bandha, bringing the tongue to the roof of the mouth, and let's just breathe here. And then I invite you, if you want to go side to side, just feel a nice stretch on either side. Enjoying the sensations in the body. And going over to the other side. And then coming back to center. And we're going to begin to walk those feet together. And come down onto the mat, onto our knees. Let's just sit in hero pose for just a moment and allow ourselves to relax, taking a breath here. And let's open up those feet a little bit in those calves and see if you can bring yourself all the way down. And sitting here and feeling that sensation. And then coming up into table, bringing the knees back a little. And let's move into child's pose, opening those knees up a little bit and allowing the belly to come in between the knees and resting in a nice child's pose. You've just done a really good workout, really acknowledging yourself and letting yourself have a little rest here, noticing sensations, aliveness in your body. Beautiful job. And coming up to your table, just move into some cat-cows as we inhale, lifting the head, sticking that tailbone out, feeling a nice arch on the back, into our cow. And then as we move into our cat, we're going to tuck that tailbone under, round that back up like a big Halloween cat, and drop the head looking in toward the thighs and the belly. Inhaling into our cow and exhaling into cat. Feeling that flexion and extension of the spine. And going at your own pace, finding your own rhythm. Keeping that breath flowing. The line of energy here is when you're in cow, you're in extension of the spine. And when you move into your cat, you're in flexion of the spine. Begin to add some spontaneous movements if you like. I like when I get into my cow, I like to wag my tail a little bit. To move that pelvis around a little, move those hips. Notice those sensations, maybe even making some circles with the hips, just noticing some beautiful sensations. Exhaling into our cat. When I get into my cat, I like to come back a little. I like to make some circles with the hips. If you're going to circle the hips in your cat, just make sure when you're done circling one way, you offer the body a circles in the other direction. But just moving back and forth spontaneously, adding your own little spontaneous movements, doing what feels good for your body, keeping that breath flowing and just enjoying the sensations and the movements. And coming back to center, beautiful job. Let's come to a seated position here. Let's move into a little single leg forward fold. So we're going to take that left leg out. Right leg is bent in. Resting, that right foot is resting on the inner thigh of the left leg. We're going to inhale as we lengthen the spine. And then on our exhale, we are going to begin to hinge forward at the hip. So the only thing moving in your body should be your hip. You can bring your hands down to the mat and find your edge. Find that edge there. And I want us all to just rest on that edge and take a nice deep breath here. And now see if you can hinge a little bit deeper in your hip, maybe even just a micro movement. Beautiful. And then on your next exhale, just rounding that spine, bringing the head towards the knee. Wherever you are in this pose is okay. Everybody is different. Just allow your body to be where it's at. Don't judge. Simply sending yourself constant self-love and acknowledgement for where you're at. If you can reach your foot, you could give your foot a little massage with the intention that this is a sacred foot. We are working with our holy body temple. Because what brings this body to life, which animates through this body, is divine awareness. Extension of Source itself into form. That one substance, omnipresent, animating through your body, which makes your body a very sacred, holy temple. On your next inhale, hinging back up the hip. Beautiful job. We're going to switch legs. So the right leg is straight out, left leg is bent, and the left foot is resting on the inner thigh of the right leg. And we're going to reverse. We're going to do the same thing on this other side. Repeat it. Inhaling, lengthening the spine, reaching that head up towards the heavens, and then exhaling as you hinge forward at your hips. Beautiful job. Find your edge. It could be way up here. It could be right up here. Whatever that is, honor your body. The back muscles in the back of the legs will let us know. And when you get onto that edge, I invite you to just rest on that edge and take a nice deep breath. And then see if you can hinge a little deeper in your hip, in the hip area. And if it's a micro movement. And then allowing the spine to round, the hands can be down on the earth. Bringing the head towards the knees, lifting in towards the knees, best you can. And breathing, relaxing in this nice deep forward fold. Remembering you gave the other foot some attention, give this one equal attention. Of course, this foot is equally as sacred as your other foot. Your body is a sacred body temple. Keep that breath flowing, fully engaged in the sensations in your body. See if you can hinge even a little deeper now in the hip. And honoring the body, never moving into pain. And on your next inhale, coming up to back to center. Beautiful. Let's get those feet together. Move into our Baddha Konasana. Let's rock back and forth first. Doing a great job. Let's flap those angel wings. And letting them slow down. And then pressing those knees down towards the floor. Opening up those hips, those thighs. Inhaling, lengthening the body. And exhaling, hinging at the hips. And we're going to keep the spine straight in this pose. We're not going to round the spine at all. And just hinge till you find your edge. Your hips will tell you. Your legs will tell you. And taking a few breaths, resting on this gentle edge. And one more breath. And then coming back. Beautiful job. Beautiful job. Let's do a seated twist. We haven't done that in a while. Let's do one with the leg extended straight. So my left leg is extended straight out. My right knee is bent. And I'm going to take the right knee and I'm going to bring it over to the outside of the left extended leg. And then I am going to take the left arm and I'm going to bring it around this right knee. So it's kind of snuggled, tucked in. I'm hugging that right leg in towards the body. You might feel some sensation in here. It feels real good. And then I'm going to take the right arm. I'm going to put it behind myself. I'm going to try to put it right in the middle, align with my spine, but out away from the body an inch or two. But stabilizing this pose. And I'm going to inhale as the spine is lengthening. And then as I exhale, I'm going to twist to gaze out over that right shoulder. With my next inhale, I'm going to lengthen. And the exhale, twisting a little deeper if you can. One more breath, inhaling, lengthening. And exhaling, twist. And then releasing. So there's a few ways to hold the leg. You can also bring your hand out to the side. But I particularly like this little hugging one. So we'll do that. But if you find another option that you know of and that you like, please feel free to do what you enjoy the most. So our right leg is extended out. Left knee is bent up. And we're going to take that left foot and put that on the outside of the right leg. And a nice little twist there. And then we're going to take that right arm now and we're going to hug that left leg into the body. Lengthening the spine, feeling a nice lengthen. We're going to take that left arm and we're going to bring that left arm behind, right in alignment with the spine, out about an inch or two, wherever feels stable for you. And then with our breath, we're going to inhale and lengthening and exhale, twisting. Looking out over the left shoulder. Inhaling, lengthening up. And exhaling, twist. One more breath. And releasing back to center. Beautiful job. Releasing that leg. Beautiful job. Let's move into spinal rocks if you like, down to the mat. If you don't have a nice cushy, just come right down onto your back. Bring the hands behind the knees, right on that lower hamstring, and just feeling a nice massage on that spine, waking up all those spinal muscles. Beautiful. And coming so we're flat on our back. Let's see if we have the time, not too much time left. All right, let's move into a little bridge. Let's do this. Let's just do a supported bridge for today. So supported bridge is really easy. Just going to lift those hips up. Feet are hip width apart, knees are hip width apart, and you're going to slip a cushion or a block right under that sacrum, or a pillow, whatever works for you. Let's just sit here and relax into this for a little bit, letting the body relax completely, no effort, letting the block do all the work. We worked really hard today, so it's going to allow ourselves to receive. Breathing into that belly. And if you'd like to go into a full bridge, you can do that too. One more breath here. And to release, we're going to lift those hips up, whole pelvis up, release that block or that cushion, coming back down to the mat, and let's bring those heels into the chest and rock back and forth. Releasing and relaxing that lower back. And let's extend those legs up towards the sky, just feeling that nice inversion. And I invite you to bring the hands to the back of the hamstrings and pull those legs in towards the body a little bit. Feeling that nice stretch. I'd like to move the hands up a little higher on the legs, but higher down to the calves. Pull that both legs into the body, feeling your edge, finding your edge, never forcing or striving, never going into such an extreme that we're going to snap a muscle, but we're just challenging the body ever so gently by being on that edge. A little bit of effort. Maybe a 7. And then releasing those legs. And let's move into half shoulder stand. If you don't know half shoulder stand or that's difficult for you, then just keep these legs up. We're moving into the inversion, but you're still getting just as good of an inversion here. Your veins are getting a great break. You can move into shoulder stand, lifting those hips, bringing the hands to the small of the back, the low back, trying to get those feet so they're right above the head if you can. And breathing into this nice inversion. And then hinging those legs over into a plow. The feet naturally drop onto the floor without any tension on your lower back. That's okay. If not, just keeping those legs parallel to the floor. I like to keep my legs parallel to the floor so I don't create any unnecessary strain in my low back. And breathe. Legs are extending out away from the body. And then coming out, we're going to tuck those knees in towards the body. Bring the hands back down to the mat and gently roll down. Beautiful job. Let's move into a fish. Legs are extended out. Palms are on the mat face down. I'm going to bring the palms under the buttocks, lifting those buttocks up. Both palms are under face down. We're going to bring the elbows and the arms, tucking them right close in, snug to the body. Pressing into the elbows, lifting the head and the heart up nice and high, and then dropping that head. So the crown of your head, the very top of your head, is resting on the mat. Feeling a nice opening of the chest. Any type of back bend is a heart opener. So the intention is always to keep that heart open. And let's engage those bandhas and breathe. And to come out, you're going to press into the elbows, lift that head up, straighten the spine, and come down flat on your back. And let's bring those knees into the chest, rocking back and forth to release and relax that lower back. And keeping those knees into the chest. And let's bring those feet so they're pointing up towards the sky. Let's open those knees wider apart so the knees are aligned with the armpits. And taking a hand on the outside of either foot and gently bringing those knees down into the armpits. Pulling both legs down, finding your edge here, that gentle edge in your baby pose. Engaging those bandhas, and let's breathe. It's a hip opener pose. Keeping your awareness on sensation in the body. Beautiful job. And then I invite you to just move around in Ananda Balasana, happy baby. Moving the legs around and just doing what feels good for you. And we're going to move into a couple releases and then finish up. So any other pose or any movement that your body needs or wants or craves, just give your body that right now. Fully present in the body, enjoying the sensations. And when you're ready, we're going to bring the feet down to the mat. Knees are up. We're going to move into our releases. So we're going to move into hula first. So the sacrum is flat on the mat, never lifts up and off the mat. We're just going to swivel those hips. So one hip is going to come down towards the heel, the opposite hip is coming up towards the armpit. And then swiveling the other side, bringing that other hip down to the heel, and opposite is coming up towards the armpit. It's just feeling a nice swivel in the hips. Nice, slow, repetitive movements as we release and relax that lower back. Keeping that breath flowing, enjoying sensation, fully present in the body. Thinking comes in, just bring yourself back to the moment and all the sensations in this moment. It's time to give your body some attention. We're working on full embodiment. That's a lifelong journey. And coming back to neutral, let's move into hip pointers. So let's start together. We're going to have that right hip rooted into the mat, the right butt cheek rooted into the mat. We're going to lift up the left butt cheek and point that left hip diagonally towards the sky. And then releasing it down. So we're going to add a little twist into that spine. And then going to the other side, one side at a time, making sure your foundation is set. One hip is rooted into the earth while the other lifts up and points. And moving at your own pace, your hip pointers, pointing one hip at a time up towards the sky. Keep the prana and breath moving through the body. And coming back to center, and let's move into cat-cow on the mat. So as you go into your cat, you're going to feel the small of the back press into the mat as the tailbone's tucked under. It's flexion, and then as you move into your cow, feel that lumbar spine, that lower spine arching up off the back, off the mat. Tailbone is pointing towards the earth. And moving back and forth at your own pace in flexion and extension of the spine. Cat, cow, and supine. Time. And we're going to move right into Savasana now. So relaxing those legs out. Bringing the arms out beside you, relaxed, and just feeling the entire body sink nice and deeply into the earth. Releasing and relaxing, all holding, all muscular tension. Feeling the nervous system deeply relaxed, the brain and the spinal column. Immersed with relaxation, fully present, here now. And bask in a few moments of silence as you integrate the entire practice. Beginning to come back, taking a few deep breaths into the belly. Wiggling the fingers and toes and beginning to stretch out the arms and legs. And rolling over to one side, either side, whatever feels best for you. And gently coming up to a seated position. We're going to take this moment to dive back in deeply into your inner aliveness, that pratyahara. Just notice how you're feeling inside. Maybe a little more spacious and still. Whatever's there is perfect. Just noticing, neutral observer. And then I invite you to bring yourself back to that intention that you set into your heart and your consciousness. And we'll close with Namaste. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of love, of light, of truth, and of peace. And when you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we are one. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for Ecstatic Yoga, Warrior Flow with Intentions. Please check out EcstaticYoga.Studio, our teacher trainings. We have online trainings. We are going to be doing our in-person retreats and trainings very shortly, and I hope you can join us. Have a beautiful and blessed day.